My name is Brian Prell. I'm a physical therapist and owner of Lake Oconee Rehabilitation and Performance Center, and I've been treating balance patients for almost 17 years. I'm here with Stéphane, CEO of Synapsys, creator of the world's first digital wireless video Frenzel goggles. Stéphane, tell me, what prompted you or what stirred in you the desire to get into the world of balance and vestibular rehabilitation?
Well, I've been personally dealing with dizziness, and it took me 18 months before finding someone able to understand and solve my issue. At the same time, when I had this dizziness problems, I was 25 and I was looking something else in my career, and I discovered by chance that Synapsys was specifically building technologies on that field. So that's when I jumped in to improve people's life and save them the long pathway I had to go through.
Wow, as a clinician, I had a similar experience with a patient who woke up at about 2:30 in the morning one night and started experiencing spinning, dizziness. Went to the emergency room. They really didn't know how to address it. They didn't know how to treat her. So they prescribed her meclizine and discharged her and told her she needed to follow up with her primary care physician, which she never did. She dealt with it for 6 months. She was intermittently using meclizine to manage the symptoms. Not only that, but she started losing hope and she started getting anxious, depressed. So they started to add anti-anxiety, anti-depression medication to what she was taking. And it wasn't for 6 months until finally somebody had the wherewithal to point her towards us, of which when we tested her, we found that she had left posterior canal involvement, BPPV. We found it, we treated it, and within a couple sessions, she was feeling great. And somebody had to deal with it for 6 months. With you dealt with it for 18. Stéphane, what are some of the issues that you had to deal with over that 18 months? Not only physically, mentally, but psychologically that you had to deal with, and waiting to determine, is somebody going to find an answer to this, or am I going to continue to have to deal with this for the rest of my life?
Being 25 years old and have to go through brain MRI, CT scans and so on, and you don't know what's happening, have no idea. I think that the more difficult to me was having this kind of suspicion of something very, very dangerous. I remember that at one point I wasn't able to drive, so my wife had to bring me to the hospital. I wasn't able to look at a computer. It was quite difficult to have a normal life during that time.
I don't know how you manage this while you were dealing with vertigo, but I know me as a clinician, I've got patients that will come in to see me for dizziness, and they have a difficult time trying to describe their symptoms. They tend to globalize their symptoms into one category of dizziness. And I usually try and give some questions, some leading questions that will help clarify where I'm going to go in the evaluation to help find what their primary issue is instead of dealing with the secondary and tertiary issues and getting around to it. Questions such as, does your dizziness involve the room spinning? Or does your dizziness involve feeling lightheaded? Or does your dizziness involve feeling off balance? Because those 3 questions will lead us to 3 different treatments. For instance, for somebody that's lightheaded, that could be dietary, that could be orthostatic hypotension. There's a myriad of issues that could cause lightheadedness. For imbalance issues, there could be reactivity, there could be transitions, there could be biomechanical involvement, there could be instability in gait issues. That's going to lead to another treatment path. For people that complain of spinning, that's positional. That's when we start doing positional testing. For you and Synapsys, what role do you see Synapsys filling or inserting itself into the diagnosis and treatment of vertigo?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I would have loved that someone asked me those questions that you mentioned, because as far as I remember, when I was exposed to those conditions, nobody asked me those kind of questions. And this shows that the knowledge and awareness is a problem with those conditions. And this exactly is the gap where Synapsys enters. We are trying to bridge the gap between those patients with those conditions that I personally experienced and the professionals and caregivers that maybe don't have yet all the technologies and knowledge to take care of those conditions easily. For example, our latest video pharyngeal technology has been designed with that bridge in mind. That's the reason why the system is so easy to use and portable.
You know, I really appreciate how you said, you know, it's ease of use, because for me as a clinician, it really is easy for me to take this wireless technology and utilize it not only in diagnosing a patient to find out what the primary cause is, but then turn around and utilize it in treatment to give them quick resolution of their symptoms. But I'll tell you, as a practice owner, one of the things that it hits home for me is the portability aspect of it. I can take this machine and I can take it into the office of another provider and I can show them that we have this technology and we're utilizing this wireless digital technology in treating their patients. But not only is it useful for taking it to other providers, but take it into the community. And as I take it into the community, I'm giving them a greater awareness that not only is there something that we can use to help diagnose their situation and their symptoms, but we can take it and give them hope that there really is a treatment. There is something that we can do to provide them treatment and relief.
Yes, absolutely, Brian. And thank you for increasing this awareness in your communities. Studies have shown that 40% of people will experience dizziness or vertigo in their lifetime. And this percentage increases with age. So for something that should last 10 or 15 minutes to get diagnosed and treated, I think it's worth to design our technologies and avoid this long waiting times.
You're exactly right. It is easy to use and it is quick. So let's go ahead and show how to use this digital wireless video technology to both diagnose and treat vertigo.